Now, this week's episode of Bunny Girl Senpai hit me pretty hard emotionally. I actually really felt something over the course of this episode. A lot of this episode can actually be summed down to as a very wholesome and very pleasant to watch episode, but when you get to the stuff with Kade and just how she is dealing with her social anxiety, it's hard to watch. I can't relate to this on that personal of a level in terms of being so isolated that you can't leave your house, which is really, really sad to think about. But when I was younger, I did have a lot of social anxiety. I hated going to public places. I was just scared of people. Nowadays, I really don't care if people like me or hate me. So I can connect to this girl a little bit, but in terms of being that isolated, I never reached that point, but it really, really hit me just seeing the steps that she was trying to take because she realizes, like, you know, she is a burden to her brother. She realizes, like, how is he going to marry someone if I'm this attached? Obviously, someone like Mai would be more than willing to have her live with her, but it's just nice to see that she is realizing that it's time for her to take steps, and just seeing a lot of people would want to say it's so basic, oh, she's answering the phone, what's the big deal? The phone literally almost killed her. She was getting abused and literally physically wounded. Hell, in this episode, she gets abused once again, which gave me a little bit of a holy shit kind of feeling because I was really worried if it was going to get worse. But just to see the steps she was taking and how supportive her brother and how supportive someone like Mai is, it was nice to see. It really made you feel like, honestly, for a minute, I forgot I was watching anime. I was just so invested. I was like, this is a real girl. She's going through some serious stuff, and I'm so happy to see her take these steps. And just how much emotion you were getting from just her overall body language. Like, body language has been a very high point to this series from the very beginning. You can really tell, outside of even emotional scenes, how people are thinking and just overall what they're feeling because they're not always just standing uptight. And I just love seeing all these moments, especially when she was finally getting the courage to step outside, seeing just all the little moments of her being like, you know, I have to take these breaks, it's important for these breaks, which is absolutely true. She can't just immediately throw herself outside after being trapped inside for how long. And I just love seeing Sakta actually break down emotionally when she actually does cry and be thankful that she actually made it outside. That was such an emotional and powerful moment. This back half of the episode was so powerful because you really bought into this was a girl who was bullied so much, who had actual physical wounds because of this adolescent syndrome, that she finally is taking the steps to get out of her shell and actually embrace the outside world, not be scared anymore because she doesn't want to hinder her brother. She wants to be able to be someone who can live independently. This is what separates the big boy anime from the children. Because seriously, this is the type of emotional depth I'm always thirsting for. The type of stuff that really makes you feel this isn't an anime character, this is a real person. You can look at her at his design on a surface level and think she was going to be this generic character, but right away understood like what she went through, why she's so attached to her big brother, because she only one who can actually take care of her and protect her after all the bullshit that she went through. This episode really made you care for Kade as a character and really want to see the best for her, and when it gets revealed that she doesn't have memories prior to that, like, the holy hell, this arc is going to be incredible. I think this arc is going to set the bar exceptionally high for that movie to match, and apparently the movie next year is even the best arc in the series so far. This is what we're looking for in a series like Bunny Girl Senpai, to constantly keep improving or sticking to the quality laid out earlier on, showing us amazing character growth, character arcs, and just characters overall, where every single character that we focus on continues to impress us, and that's what the series is continuing to do. The amount of emotional depth through Kade and just her overall family life is something that is just so damn memorable, something that's going to stick out past this anime season, this year overall, because of that's just how damn well it was written. And then when you actually get all the emotional and kind of wholesome stuff with Mai and Sakta, it's brilliant. In so many romance series, you're always going to look for physical actions to show the love. Like, oh, did they kiss? Did they do anything else? Like, that's how a lot of people are going to recognize emotional love. But Bunny Girl doesn't rely on that. Sakta and Mai don't need to kiss. They don't need to do anything that physical for us to understand how much they love one another. Mai got up in front of all these cameras, in front of all the press, as crazy as it is for the people living in Japan that they have to do shit like that to kind of explain their romance life when it should be something that's private. Mai didn't run away. Mai clearly loves Sakta as much as Sakta loves Mai, because she goes up there and doesn't run away from it. She explains exactly why she loved this guy, and I love how, the director's saying, like, hey, it was free advertisement for this movie, so it's no big deal. Stuff like that really shows you just how far she's come, because the first arc, you probably would expect she would want to cover it up, make some sort of lie, but she's not scared to tell the public that, yes, this is my boyfriend, and if it goes horribly wrong that she can't get a gig, she'll accept that fate. I love all these moments, all the little one-liners that Sakta will say and Mai will respond with such a witty thing. When literally Sakta is talking to Furuta and saying like, hey, you know, my old crush who kind of gave me the confidence to continue on, she wants to meet, and I feel very bad because I understand if Mai said the same thing to me, I would be incredibly jealous. And Furuta passing the message along and Mai not being like, oh, he's gonna cheat on me or something. No, they understand each other on an emotional level that is far past any of his friendships or even his little sister, things like that. They understand one another. Sometimes they may have trouble speaking their mind on certain subjects, like in the case with Sakta in this week's episode, but they're not going to run away or hate each other because they actually have maturity in terms of their actual relationship. And that's something you don't see often. Like, you can look at the stuff with Kade and the social anxiety, that's enough to hold an episode. But the fact that you get all these very wholesome moments between either Kade or Sakta and Mai, it just really shows you the actual emotional depth to their relationship. And then you have all these moments that really would test most relationships, but here, they're not testing. They're not doing anything that's going to ruin them. They're going to stick together and they're going to be together till the very end. More than likely in the future, you know, when Sakta's an adult ready to settle down, Mai's going to be the one standing at that altar. It's not going to be someone else. It's going to be Sakta and Mai. And I just love how the series is able to keep the romance so fresh, so in your face, but never let that be the driving force, but rather it's all this weird anomalies that's happening. It definitely feels like Sakta is kind of the base for everything happening, like he's kind of dragging everyone into this, but it's nice to see that you have all these great character arcs, all these great moments, the beautiful romance, the wholesome moments. This is such an amazing anime. I'm going to be so sad when it ends in a couple of weeks. Granted, we do have the movie next year, that'll probably take a year to get subbed, but seriously, like, I've seen enough that this is good. Like, honestly, after the movie wraps up, I probably would be okay if they never continued it, because by the time the movie gets subbed, there will be more than enough light novels out to probably do a season. But if they didn't do it, I'd probably be okay, because we've seen so much with this relationship and these characters that I feel like I've already had a satisfying overall progression. Like, it doesn't feel like most anime where it's like, oh, 30 episodes go by and yeah, I guess it's okay to wrap it up now. This is like 13 episodes would be enough for me to be like, okay, Bunny Girl Senpai, you've already cemented yourself as one of the best anime I've ever watched. But getting that movie, it just makes me even more happy. Seriously, voice acting, body language, overall reactions, wholesome romance, the social anxiety, this episode, best episode for me right now. Honestly, best episode for me. I love it that much. Let me know whatever you thought down in that comment section below. Do you love it? Do you hate your favorite moment? Most unexpected moment? Let me know whatever you're feeling, and be sure to like the video if you did enjoy, and also hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content from me in the future. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.